Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the principal's office. I am Jamal Maxsam, an igniter of champion leaders. I help aspiring school leaders make the shift. I help them leave the classroom, go to the principal's office, and stay there because I want them to lead like a champion. Because they say, and the statistics says that nearly 80% of new school principals quit within their first 3 years. So my job, my purpose, my mission is to make sure that you stay and that you're successful. So, for this week's tip, we're talking about, will you be the one? Will you be the one that doesn't give up? Will you be the one that stays, in the position? Right now there's a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of things going on, a lot of things added to the already increased responsibility of leading a school. And so I want to ask you, will you be the one that doesn't give up? Will you be the one that stays? Now, I'm not talking about those who recognize there's a season change and you understand that your time of being a principal is up and it's time for you to transition to something else. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about right now, when you know that you should be in school leadership, whether you're new to it and starting it or not, or whether you are aspiring to school leadership. Will you be the one that would stay and be that champion for the students, regardless of how tough it is or how tough it may get? And so I want to just encourage you today, and I want to ask you a few questions and share a few things and maybe even tell an event that happened to me today. But so let's go to it. So will you be the one? Because I understand this, that sometimes champions get tired too. And so you can get tired. It's okay to be weary. It's okay to get tired. It's okay to be exhausted, because school leadership or leading in any capacity in a school building can be tiring. It can be exhausting. It can be one of those, it's draining on you mentally, emotionally, and physically. And so that's understandable. We all go through that in leadership. But as you are thinking about the adults in your building, as you design supports for students for their social emotional needs, which is multi-layered and multifaceted, it should be. How do you provide relief to those giving care to those students, to the teachers who are directly impacted? Do you have a system? And I'm going to make this larger again so you can see it. Do you have a system of support for the teacher's social emotional well-being? Can they tap out when they need to take a break? And so as the leader, I want to ask you, will you be the one to design that? Now, that has never been heard of in a school. Social emotional for teachers, but it's needed. Social emotional for adults is needed. And you might be thinking, you're tired yourself. Well, there are some strategies you can use as well to take breaks and make sure you're not overwhelmed. But I want you to think about those who you are serving through your leadership. Will you design something in your building for them? And when they feel exhausted, or when you notice they're exhausted, how do you have a system in place to give them some relief? Or do you just say tough it up because you're the adult? So will you be that one? Because here it is, because sometimes we need to keep going. We just need to stay consistent in order to see the results we want. The times when we feel like we want to quit, sometimes we're right there at seeing the results. And if we just stay consistent, if we keep going, we take it one day at a time, one moment at a time if we need to, but we'll see the results. Because that's what happened to me earlier today. I had to get some keys made. I'm going to tell you a quick story. I had to get some keys made. And when I was going to get this key made, I went to the hardware store. And when I went, I gave the person the key. They copied several keys. They copied about 3 or 4 different keys. Each of the keys worked except for one. Isn't that like how it is sometimes when we are in our schools, when we're leading, we're doing initiatives, they worked, we see impact in certain areas, we see progress in certain grade levels, but then maybe one classroom, one grade level, one student, we don't see the results with them. But we saw the results with everybody else. That's what happened. So I immediately left to try the key. That's how I recognized it didn't work. So I went back to the hardware store. It was like, hey, this key doesn't work. The gentleman was very nice and polite, and he made another key. So I went back, tried that key again. Isn't that what we do? When something isn't working, a system isn't working, an initiative isn't working, that something we didn't work, we go back and we try again. Teachers reteach, or we'll try to figure out what's going on, why didn't it work, and so we try again, hoping to see the results that we wanted to see. That's what I did. I got the second key. They made it again. I went back and tried it immediately. It didn't work. So I went back to the hardware store. Now this is my third time, back to back. And and it wasn't like a close distance. It wasn't too far, but it wasn't too close either. So I'm doing a lot of driving. I go back the third time. I tell the gentleman, I was like, hey, the second key you made, the second attempt at getting results didn't work. So here's what he said to me. He said, I don't know what else I could do for you. I'll just give you a refund, but I'm done. I'm not going to try to make it again. And so my response was, but I need this key made. I need to give it to someone who needs access to this particular building. They need the key. But, so I wasn't going to settle for a refund. Sometimes we can't settle for just not allowing something to work because the people we serve need it. The teachers need what we are offering. The students need what we're offering. So sometimes we can't settle and say, well, that was just it. But this person didn't want to try again. He was tired. He was tired of trying. He tried twice. Some of us, we get tired of trying because we've done it more than once and didn't get results. And so what ended up happening is the assistant manager came and they tried it one more time. They made this key the third time. And when they made the key the third time, I immediately left again, went to the building and tried it. And guess what? It worked. If I would have settled for and been in agreement with the guy who wanted to quit and not try again, I wouldn't have got the result that I wanted. So I'm going to tell you this again. Do not quit before you get the results, because sometimes we just need to keep going. We need to stay consistent. And sometimes we just need to try again. And that's what happened. When they tried the third time, they examined the key a lot closer to make sure they were more strategic and intentional, and it worked. Sometimes it's not your system, it's not your process. Sometimes you just have to examine it a little closer to see why it's not working with this particular area, or why this particular thing is not working when it's getting results at other areas of the building, or working with other students and other teachers. Sometimes you got to look closer at the details, but don't give up. And so that's what happened. It worked. And so what did I learn from that lesson besides what I'm sharing with you today? Again, sometimes we need to keep going. And then here it is. Here's what I learned that I'm suggesting to you. You need to have a system for your adults in the building that allows them to take a break, allows them to get refreshed, and allows someone else to step in so things could keep moving. And you should think about designing a social emotional system for the teachers and for the adults that you serve in the building, because they need it. They're the ones, they're like that first guy who made the key. They tried and now they're ready to quit. I'm just saying. Or you may be the one that tried as the leader and you're ready to quit. But my question is, will you be the one to do something different, to do something that hasn't been done before, to put a system in place in your building, or present a system in your building where teachers can tap out? Like that guy tapped out, the assistant manager stepped in and they tried it one more time. So will you be the one to create that system so that you can continue to be the champion for the teachers that you serve and for the students that you serve. All right, so that's it for this week's. I want you to remember to like, share, comment, and save this video if you like these tips, if they are helping you. And this one was a thought-provoking one to really help you think and really consider some things as you are leading right now, because I know it's been an exhausting school year. You know, for those who are new in leadership and those who are experienced, it's exhausting, but you can do it. And if you need help, if you want some support, someone who's not, an evaluator for you, but someone who has been where you are and has led schools, but also can help support you in this time, I want you to reach out to me. Claim your free session with me, jamalmaxsam.org/strategy session, and I will help you design a system of support for teachers where they can express themselves, they can vent, and won't feel like there's going to be a backlash, and also so they can be refreshed, so they can continue to champion for the students. All right, so that's it. I want you to reach out to me. Have a great day. Be successful and lead like a champion. Bye-bye.